Awesome. And we're live, I think. How are you doing today, Jacob?
Great.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time that you're on the Bit Project Twitch. So do you want to just give us a little introduction about who you are and what got you here today?
Okay, so hi, I'm Jacob.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I am a computer and electronic system student going into second year at Strathclyde University in Scotland, Glasgow.
Mhm.
And I am here because I had nothing else to do over summer and I wanted to develop my skills further.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, I feel like all programmers are just like, yeah, I have nothing else to do. So let's go.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. You're one of our like few students that are working in the camp internationally, and I'm sure that must be really difficult with like the time zones and everything. How's it going?
It hasn't been too bad for the very first week was quite a surprise with the stream lasting for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But other than
Longer than
that, going through the playback was pretty good
Yeah.
and just working through it.
Yeah, just trying to do
And then
things.
most of the socials were in like reasonable times for me to actually join.
Reasonable times. Awesome. I love that. And today we're actually, oh, Ganning is here. Wait, is there sound? Can you not hear us? That's awkward. Hear us? Okay, you should be able to hear us. Ganning. Maybe the Twitch.
Yeah, I think there is sound.
Yeah. I hope there is. Can you imagine? We're just like miming the entire next hour of coding. That would suck.
Yeah, there is sound.
Oh, yeah. I did that too. Awesome. So could you tell us a little bit about how week 5 has been going for you? Because week 5 is like the actual project coding part, right?
Yeah, so good for me. I kind of had some sort of outline plan from quite the beginning, where I've already came up with some sort of project that I was going to be working on. And me and Ganesh were actually kind of focusing and working on that from the beginning. So we already had kind of plan of what will need to happen. So in this week, we were kind of just actually putting that on paper and checking all the boxes on GitHub.
Awesome. Yeah, I see Ganning and Odo-san in the chat. So hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. Jacob, what's your plan for the project? Like, what's your inspiration behind it? What problem are you trying to solve?
So I'm not exactly sure what, for the Serverless Days, what area I'm exactly going to be able to relate it to. But at Strathclyde, I'm part of a eco-vehicle team where we've designed our own car/vehicle that is electric powered, and I'm on the telemetry team, which means I'm collecting overall data from the car using different systems. And one thing that kind of started bothering me from the point that I started was that when we are testing the car on a track or just in a lab, we don't have access to the data straight away. We need to stop the car, get the hard disk, download everything, and then start analyzing it. So what I'm designing is basically if me and Ganesh work on this the right way, it is going to be real time. Right now, it's a 5-second delay system. But we're hoping to get it real time, where we are real time streaming data to an server API that will then take the data in, analyze some of it, send it to. I'm planning on using some map APIs and graphing APIs, and then taking all of that data and displaying it on a website.
Wow, that is super cool. Okay,
Yes.
so let's backtrack. The initial idea came from this, like, what did you say it came from?
Basically a society that I'm part of where we are designing an electric vehicle.
That's really cool. So it's kind of like a personal problem, but it's also something that I'm sure like a lot of other people
Yes. So to not make it just a single case sort of thing, I'm designing the system in a way where anyone because it's online, it can be anyone. Basically, as long as you upload the files in the right format, you'll be able to use this, and hopefully as kind of like a challenge thing at the end, if we have extra time, we are planning to design kind of a user hierarchy so that depending on if you put in the certain IDs, you can, for example, view different vehicles at the same time, which on itself would be quite useful because once a year there's a race that we attend, and if we could get other vehicles to be using the same system with us, then it would also concern kind of like safety of the whole track, because then you can exactly track where each of the cars is.
Yeah, that is so cool. I have no idea how you came up with this idea, but I'm really excited to see how you're going to go about actually coding it. Do you want to walk us through? I'm going to start screen sharing your screen now.
Yeah. So I think first we would go through the flowchart.
Wow, that's a really neat flowchart. Okay, let's see what's going on here.
So we start with the actual receiving of the data, which is a JSON file, which will just be sent in a basic post that will get received by an upload API, basically just a basic Azure function that will upload our data to a blob storage. The blob storage is connected to a blob trigger. As soon as this is one thing that will probably change, but right now it's designed that the blob trigger will run some code that will determine what was the last uploaded file and get the name of the file and send it over to what I'm calling the telemetry API function.
Gotcha.
So once we have the name of the file, we're able to retrieve it from the blob storage, open up all the data, and send it to the external APIs that we might be using in the future. But so that we're not... one thing that I kind of ran into was how am I going to communicate with the actual website without me not knowing any kind of other Azure functions right now? Sorry, Azure services. So for now, it's designed in a way that the website will have just a basic place dot button, which when it's pushed, it will start sending out get requests to the telemetry API function. And as soon as there's data, it will receive it and display it.
That is really cool.
That is the basic outline.
Yeah, you have a couple of like services like the blob storage, the Azure function, and everything. That's
actually, I've got I started working on even a framework. So this is...
I love this. Okay, go ahead.
So this is basically the same thing, just made a bit simpler, of just the different functions and websites that will be used. So this is just a bit of a simplification of the processes that are happening.
Whoa, that's insane. I absolutely love this. And then the telemetry function, was that something that your mentor recommended, or is that something that you found on your own?
The telemetry function, all of it is kind of my idea.
Yeah.
The telemetry function is basically just a place for me to process all the data. Because
you're basically a professional developer at this point.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Okay.
Because I'm sure I probably could have done it in the blob trigger, but just to make it neater and more kind of to make sense of it in my head, I'm just going to do a different function for that.
Yeah, we have a bunch of people in the chat that are freaking out too. We have people saying, whoa, and this is actually amazing. Holy crap. That's literally what's going through my mind right now. Okay, so what's the next step? What do we do next?
Right, so...
yeah, props.
We've got some... Yeah, okay, some of it is still not filled in. but we've got the basic timeline. We've got, the basic steps.
Mhm.
And I've actually managed to complete some of them already. So I'm able to upload the JSON file to the blob storage, and I might even be able to demonstrate that if we pull up Postman.
Sweet. Okay, the first step is cool. Uploading the files.
Yep. And
so you've already created like a regular HTTP function, or?
Hang on. Yes, I think so. Yes, I've created a telemetry upload function.
Did you start documenting it already?
No, there is one thing I haven't done yet. I'm just working on the code.
That's all right. That's all right. Go with whatever flow works best for you. If you prefer coding a bunch of stuff first, then that's good. Okay, so we have Postman up.
Okay, so we've got the local telemetry upload, and in the body we are just submitting a format data, which is a JSON file, and we just send that, and we okay, no data. Right. This shouldn't be happening.
This is what happens. The second you try to show it to someone, it just doesn't it breaks on you.
It might be just that the message displayed, but it should be uploaded.
Okay. So you're going to go into your portal now.
Yes.
And go into
and later on, I'll create the proper blob storages with the proper names. But
no data.
Right. If we go into but it's saying they executed. Interesting.
Do you want to first maybe walk us through the code and like how you got to where you are?
Yeah. So we start with the upload function, where we are just taking in the body, which we know is going to be a JSON file.
You're printing no body. Oh, that's why. That's what you're
talking about. That might be why, but still doesn't seem to be showing up.
I see. Did you want to maybe let's go through the code?
Let's go through the code. Yep. So we're just getting the body, and this is basically the same thing as we did for the what was it? Bunny image upload.
Right.
Pretty sure I've just copied it. Because so why do extra work?
You I don't got have the headers, you got the name.
Then I just changed some of the tags, and submit it as a JSON file.
When you were putting it on Postman?
There should be, because I run it before. Yeah. Name data one.
Cool.
I might have deleted the file. That might be it.
Oh, on your computer?
Because I think I started moving the... Okay. If we try that again. And I stopped the run. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, this time it should work.
It's literally coding. You just keep doing it over and over again until it works. Oh no.
There we go, file saved.
Nice.
And now we'll see over here. And if we quickly go in here, we'll also see that the trigger function has been activated.
Beautiful. Okay, yeah. So
right,
walk
so
us
that's the
through
next step.
Yeah.
So now that we've got our file uploaded to our blob storage, we have the blob trigger. So this is just when you go into creating a new Azure function, there's an option called blob trigger, which then once you set up its endpoint, you just look at the blob that you're trying to look at, and every time it gets updated or anything done to it, it triggers the function.
Gotcha.
So in here, I am taking. Okay, that's the blob trigger.
So is this function triggered anytime that entire container is updated?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I'm just taking each one of the blobs and getting the name and the last modified, which gives me when it was uploaded, basically. Oh, well, because we're not modifying them, it gives me the date when it was uploaded.
And you're just putting these into an array?
Yeah, and then I'm comparing them and getting basically the last modified, the top result.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a random cat API.
Yes, that's because I haven't set up the endpoint yet.
Gotcha.
I haven't deployed anything yet, so
I was like, this project is turn. Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be an endpoint. And then I'm basically just getting the name of the last modified file. And it will be going over into the telemetry API, which is, if we go over here. So we've done our upload function. We've uploaded to our blob storage I see that I haven't renamed these yet, but basically this is the trigger function.
Gotcha.
It's got triggered, and it's getting the name of the last modified file, and it's sending it over to the telemetry function.
Awesome. So that's where we're at right now.
So that's where we're at, and that's what I'm currently working on.
Beautiful. Okay, so where do you want to start coding now?
So the step over here is first we got the body, which we know over here is going to be the name of the file that we need to get access to. So again, I just quickly copied the outline from the bunny image because I'm not that confident with JavaScript, so it's useful to get the outline. And in here, we are going to, hang on. Right, let's see how it was done here. Nope. Right, upload. Okay. So if we rename this to get file, then we just getting the client container name and the blob name, we are going to be passing in just name.
So this is you getting that file back from like the blob storage?
Yes, and I'm not actually sure if this is going to work because I've tried to read up on this, but it doesn't seem like there's much on if you kind of follow these links that it gives you to the over here to the operation with blobs. It doesn't exactly give you stuff like the get stuff and the exact thing you need to call to get your result. So
Is this
I'm
different
hoping
from like the download file thing that you did with Bunny Image?
yeah, so with the download, you are basically just passing a URL to the user, and from that, it's able to determine just to get access to it, you need to download it. But over here, because I'm kind of within the system, I don't think it would really make sense to do a URL, but instead I am going to be looking into the blob storage and just getting the file itself.
Okay, sounds good.
So if over here we just call this is me getting the file. We will call move this to the bottom. So we're getting the name of the file, and then we're passing the name to the get file, which, if I think this is how it works, it should give me back the file itself. So at this point, I'm just going to log this.
Gotcha.
And see if it works. And I think, yeah, I think I might have to turn off the bunny image timer for now because
it doesn't delete it.
Yeah, because well, it kind of keeps. That's why the blob trigger keeps going off because every, I don't know, I think I set it to 1 or 2, either 1 or 5 minutes, it keeps getting deleted.
Yeah. Also, we have Shogo in the chat saying you're doing a great job. So yeah, you are doing a great job so
thanks.
far.
Okay. Right. Name has already been declared. All right. Yeah, this shouldn't be here. Oh, actually. We could. Now let's not do any checks yet.
Okay. Wait, what did you just delete?
That was just once you start up a new trigger function, it kind of gives you that sample code.
Oh, right.
So I've just deleted that.
Awesome.
And we'll have to restart that.
You might need to change body response message to something else.
Yes. Well, we don't really care about that yet because we're not putting anything out for now. So, but yeah, later on, that's where the output data that will then go to the website will go. Right. So for now, we'll have to do this manually. Okay, that's empty. So we'll upload the data one to it. And we need the okay, so we need to fix our trigger function first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're getting a type error?
Yes. Which shouldn't be happening because it worked before.
Did we test this function before?
I tested it before, like before stream, and I think it might be the post itself, because I'm not sure if you can post in a trigger function.
We're posting to endpoint. An endpoint isn't
Oh,
an endpoint.
that's why. Because
Yeah.
okay, right. For now, let's actually just do this, and I'll just log the results.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that should stop giving us any errors. And we'll take the telemetry API.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we can close that.
So if this works, it should just print out the entire file content.
It should print out something. I'm not sure if it's going to be the entire, because I haven't parsed.
Oh,
any
at
of
least
the
in the console, it should.
no,
I
think it's just gonna. We'll see what it prints, because I don't think it's gonna print the whole file yet, because I haven't parsed it yet. So
okay.
Right, and in here, as part of the body, okay, let's try doing it this way. I haven't deployed any of this yet, so we'll have to do it manually.
Gotcha.
And I'm guessing this, yep, that deleted again. Right, so everything's running. So if we first send our data1.json, and now we try to get that back, we get an error.
500, okay.
Okay, but the call went through.
What is the error? Say?
Sorry?
Oh, it's the response message is not defined. You're probably just going to want to change that to like the file name or something.
Yes. if we just do that could work.
That could work, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we got something back.
Yeah.
That's
It's a start.
yeah, and then once we log it,
Mhm.
it gives us this stuff back,
Whoa.
which is it is basically what I asked for.
Hmm.
It's just that it is like not encoded, but it doesn't display the JSON itself because
Right.
it's in a file. You need to first read up the file.
Okay.
So I don't remember how to do that, but it's
I guess we're
something
gonna
to
Google
do
it.
with something to do with the parsing the information.
Right.
Right. So if we Google it,
Do you want to make sure that this works for JavaScript? Or are you coding in Java?
this should work.
It should work? Okay.
Yes. Because I know that since we have the parse multipart,
Mm-hmm.
all of this should work. The syntax might be a bit different, but
yeah,
the content is basically the same. So we could try just doing. Nope. Maybe. I think there's something missing there. That's the props.
you want to maybe check the parse multi-part documentation? I don't know if that'll help.
Sorry?
Do you want to check the parse multi-part documentation?
Yeah, that might actually be a good idea.
I will maybe type npm.
Yep.
Parse multi-part npm and see what shows up. Perfect.
Usage. Okay, body boundary. And that's it.
Do you do it in the loop?
So we've got the multipart. Right, so we might be able to just do. Let's Let's try logging it so that we don't break anything.
Okay. It's a good strategy.
Yeah. And if we do multipart parse and we put in the file, I think
Mhm.
that should return something readable.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Do you need to set the boundary for this or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
If it doesn't work, we'll come back to
Yeah.
it.
Right, so we'll need to send our file again because our bunny image timer is still active.
Mhm.
Right, now we're not getting back anything. Right, let's try that again. And again. Okay. Something's wrong.
What does the error say?
The error is
Type part.
right.
Multi-part parse is not a function.
Yep.
Multi.
Oh, hang on. It might be.
Function.
Okay.
Did you install the parse multi-part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got it.
Package.
Yeah, there. Parse multiparts.
Looks good.
Let's check that it's still there. Nope, it's not. Okay. That works. That got triggered. I don't see the log. Okay, let's see what happens if we do this. That's not gonna work, but that might. That could do something. Okay, where's the error? There. We got the dot.
Parse function. No, there's no errors so far. That's a good sign.
Okay, nothing else, so there's gonna be an error. Okay, yeah.
Oh, there is.
So it's gonna be the parse, yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to use the multi-part one because we're using Node.js.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to first refer to the basically we're creating a multipart as an object.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to call upon that. But it doesn't seem to like it.
Can you try it with a capital P?
Okay.
Multi-part dot, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right, let's do that.
And if this doesn't work, we can try adding a boundary.
Yes. But I'm not sure what the boundary would be in this case.
Okay.
Because would it be the fields that we're trying to get? No, that would usually come after as like a dot.
Yeah.
And whatever we're trying to get.
Yeah.
Okay, still there. Okay, we've got something back. And Okay, I think this is what we get for the multipart.
Is it working?
Not really.
No.
I think we got back these brackets.
Oh, it's empty. Okay.
So maybe we do need a boundary.
Yeah, there is a boundary that they've set in the documentation. Do you want to maybe try that?
Yeah, sure.
You sound so hesitant. You're like, yeah.
Because I'm not exactly sure how it's supposed to work. I mean, I know what I want it to be able to do, but
Yeah.
boundary.
Okay. It's the same, right? Mm. Oh,
Okay.
you have to
Right.
re-upload it.
Yeah, let's.
Do you want to just did you disable the timer trigger function?
I'm
So you don't
guessing I
have to-
do that here in deployment.
Yeah.
There's the
Functions.
functions.
Yeah.
And timer.
I think on the little three
there.
dots on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disable.
Perfect.
Great. That's gonna make it much easier.
Yeah.
Right, so let's just make sure that it's uploaded. That. And right, let's run this again. It executed.
Wait, is that it?
Okay, I think we have to put in extra comments to the log to see what we're getting out.
Okay. We're learning some really important coding skills.
Yeah. Debugging.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's tedious, but then once it starts working, it's like, wow, magic. Okay.
Okay, so when we do the multipart.parse, we don't get anything back.
It's still not working. Okay.
But for the file, we basically get all of this back.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Is there any specific part of the file? Like, are you trying to parse the entire file object? Or should you parse a specific property of it?
I mean, for now, I just wanted to basically display the whole object. So if I look at the data,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically just a
Yeah.
JSON file like this.
I mean, before you put it into multi-part parse,
Mm-hmm.
you know how the actual file object is this entire chunk that you
Yeah,
just, is there any specific part of it that you should be parsing? Because right now we're parsing the entire thing, right?
that's a good question. And uh, hmm, if we go back to the upload to take that as an example,
Mhm.
because I'm basically doing everything, all of this,
Right.
and what it's doing after that is that it gets the blob container
Mhm.
and it upload stuff to it. So if it doesn't exist, it creates it. And
Mhm.
if it does exist, it updates the content.
Right.
So I'm doing everything up to that point. And they're doing parse body and
Job.
okay. Right, we might just try doing it in the Java way
Okay.
instead of JavaScript.
What's the
It's
Java one?
not gonna be the simplest because I'm sure there's just something, if we put it around the right way, it's gonna show up there. But if we do file reader, wait, multiply the parse. Nope, that's not gonna work because that's a function of the. Hmm. Okay, let's try it.
Wait, so walk us through what you're doing right now, or what you're trying to do.
I am trying to. Right, so I found this piece of JavaScript, sorry, Java code that, I usually in school I work with Java, so I know this looks
makes more
correct.
sense.
This
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not that simplified as JavaScript. So, and you can still basically use most of Java stuff in JavaScript.
Mhm.
You just need to make a few changes. And okay, you can't do that. Right, let's. We need to get the file first. So this needs to go up here. We've got the file now. So then we're doing JSON parser, which might work.
Mhm.
And in here, we are putting the file into a file reader that is designed for JSON. And let's try to just print object.
There's some documentation on how to parse on Stack Overflow. Not really documentation, but putting in the chat. If this one doesn't work, we can try that.
Yeah, so they're doing parsed JSON. Okay, they're doing JSON.parse.
Mhm.
And we still need to get the boundary somehow. Which should be in here somewhere. Okay, let's try one more thing, which is where we just stop right here. So once we rerun it, we'll see what we're actually getting in the file.
Mhm.
Okay. It's as a promise. That seems to be false. No, fulfilled. Okay. Put the blob. Right, so when we are passing stuff in, okay. Question is, do we... I mean, we know content type. So we could get the boundary that way.
Directly from like the headers?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but again, there seems to be quite a lot of information that we get back from the file.
Mm-hmm. We can keep working on it for like a couple more minutes, and then after that we can take a break.
Yep. Okay, so okay, now I'm thinking, if we look back on the bunny image download,
Mhm.
once I find it, there. Since we're just using the URL,
Mhm.
what if we just tried getting the file using an URL?
You could do that, but then what would you do with the URL? How would you?
Good question. Because, right, so I'll have the URL that leads me, that's basically a path to the file itself,
Right.
which, I mean, the URL might actually be a easier version of what I'm trying to do in here,
Mm-hmm.
instead of, calling all of this. I mean, it's doing pretty much the same thing.
Don't you have to analyze the file though? Like, how are you going to analyze it from the URL?
I'll need to get the file using the URL, which
Might be easier.
might be easier because it might give me just the file. So I would need to call a GET request on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically this stuff. Yeah, so they are getting the URL and they're calling a GET request on it, and whatever they get back. Okay, let's try that.
Mm-hmm.
Stop running that. So we can just get rid of that. And rid of that. So we won't be calling get file anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have the images plus name.
Mm-hmm.
So this should be the, okay. And how is it done here? Yep, okay. So now we can just do let file be equal to, and we'll need to bring fetch in here.
Does it have a specific extension?
The extension is part of the name already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when I call the blob trigger,
Mm-hmm.
it gets me the name of the file, which includes the extension already.
Okay, perfect.
So I can just pass in the body that we get back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I might have to end the live stream here, but sorry about that, Jacob. I know you were
No,
right in the middle of it.
that's no problem.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today and kind of walking us through your project and how you came up with the idea and like your entire plan of how you're planning on finishing it as well. How are you feeling so far?
Pretty bummed that this didn't work, but I mean, that's what this is kind of all about.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure your mentor will be able to help with that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're not able to get it within a couple hours, you can just send a message in the Slack like lounge channel. I'm sure other mentors would be happy to help too. But yeah, good luck. I'm really excited to see this project. I really hope that you're able to submit. Are you planning on submitting to the conference?
Yes, I'm actually working on that right now as well.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
That's what that is.
Yeah. I really hope it gets through so that we can watch it at the conference.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Looks good so far. Good
Thank
job.
you.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.